Welcome to episode 37 of WireTap podcast with Alex.
And Carlos, hey man, you didn't do a welcome. You usually do like a
Welcome,
like
welcome, welcome.
you do like a
It's
double,
the
dude.
it's like the Waka Waka.
It is like a walk. What were you so hurrying about earlier? You watching the Braves game? Is that what it is, man?
Yeah, I'm watching the Braves game.
You know the
Braves.
whole country is rooting for the Braves except Texas.
I
Oh,
don't know.
and I think Connecticut or yeah, I think it's Connecticut, not Baltimore. Baltimore would be Maryland. I think Connecticut. I think they did a survey, and out of the whole country, Texas is rooting for Texas, and everyone else is for the Atlanta Braves. How interesting is that? Shout out to those in Texas that listen to us. I believe we've got listeners from Dallas. I believe I saw, was it Dallas, Houston? We got some people from
Yeah,
Houston,
from
and
Houston.
there was one more. What's that? Austin, even from Austin. It's pretty awesome, man. But listen, I know you're watching the game, Alex. But hey, man, what's going on about this lady? Do you know about this lady? Have you read up on this lady? Who started this? Maybe some of our listeners know about Theranos. Do you know about Theranos, Alex?
Theranos. So I read the article and everything that's been surrounding this lady Elizabeth.
It's a lot of junk out there, man.
But why won't you prep it correctly for us so that way if our listeners are not up to speed and then we can kind of touch on our points.
It's your typical white collar crime. Let's just be honest, right? And that's our goal is to give you insights into the market, give you insights in financial news. And if perhaps maybe you were a watcher of Theranos and you've gone into this or gone through this mess, number one, I hate that you're going through it, but there's a fraud trial for her name is Elizabeth Holmes, who was the CEO and founder of this blood testing. I guess you can call it a
Yeah,
startup, man.
lab facility.
Yeah, where they take your blood and they'd be able to. Actually, I believe it was it humans again or was it
No,
animals?
so
I can't remember. It was
no,
animals,
it's
isn't
for
it?
humans. So basically, what the company
Right,
main
right, right,
focus
right.
was to take the traditional stuff out of the equation and use like a fingerprint of your blood, where they'll be able to test for so much stuff and more accurate, making it very low cost efficient
Right.
for providers, and it wouldn't cost that much. Better results, further testing. So
Well,
that's what the company's focus.
it sounds like Elizabeth Holmes and her former COO, right?
Hmm.
Her operations guy Ramesh Balwani, I believe. They're both accused, man. They're both going through this trial of defrauding investors, defrauding doctors, and even patients. Because as a startup, you've got to take people's information in, right? You got to see if your product works. So imagine the patients that are connected to this. There was probably some promissory notes there. The doctors that put their name on the line for this product, they were probably promised some notes as well, right? And now all these, I guess you can call it deliveries, can't take place, Alex. And that's the hard part. But
So
it's your typical white collar
So I
crime.
think maybe it fell apart because there were her CEO, the COO, and of course Elizabeth, which was the CEO, had a relationship,
They
and then
did, they
supposedly there
did.
was bad blood and something like this, and they
And
broke it
that's
off.
somebody
But
put it out on each other. Didn't they snitch on each other, if I'm not
um,
mistaken?
maybe, but the problem is that the FDA started investigating the company, and then you
Yep,
had other
yep.
companies, you had journalists, and basically the Wall Street Journal said that only 15 out of the 240 tests were done by the new machine, was called like Edison.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
rest of the
The
tests were done.
technology. Yeah.
Yeah, the rest of it was done like traditional testings, like
Right.
whatever we use now
Versus
with
the
a little
single
tube.
finger prick,
Yeah.
I believe it was, right?
So
Right. Because
basically
that's what
they're
made their product so
so
incredible versus
special.
going through
Yeah.
all that mess. Absolutely.
So they're being accused of defrauding investors, patients, doctors, because their machine, I guess, didn't perform, or whatever their testing wasn't performing the way that they said. And of course,
Nine
their
billion.
their tests were also inaccurate.
It's crazy, dude. This company has gone through what you just mentioned, Alex, of inaccurate, the accuracy is way off from what we've gathered. There's a relationship in the midst of it. There's some operational lack of things taking place, right? And this company is valued, or was valued, at 9 million
No, billion.
million
No, billion.
$9 billion. That's why I was correcting my info. Billion. $9 billion, which meant
Hmm.
they were going to take over the healthcare industry, Alex. That's huge, man. That is an incredible accomplishment. Yet, in the midst of all of this, in the midst of the technology, the software, and in the mess that they had going on, this takes place now. So, and here's the thing, man. The reason I wanted to bring this up is, once again, we see a white collar crime, right? We see a white collar crime take place, all for the sake of, wanting to gain more, wanting to have more,
Making a quick buck.
making a quick buck. And look, I'm not trying to compare this to other companies. I'm not trying to get into the crypto space, because cryptocurrency had a nice little, even a Ethereum, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken, had a nice little jump this past week or so. So I'm not saying that quick buck opportunities are bad. They're not holds, right? They're not sustainable. It's something that could go bad in a heartbeat. And this is what happens. So I wanted to bring this up, man,
So
is because
let's
I
let's
wanted to
be
ask you, look at these
let's be clear.
punishments, dude.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Let's be clear what they're being. Here's what they're
Right.
being accused or punished. Right, Holmes and Bawani, is it?
Yeah.
Are
Baloney.
each charged with 2 counts of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 10 counts of fraud. If they're convicted for each count, they can face up to 20 years in prison,
Mhm.
$250,000, and restitution to all the victims. That's what they're
That's it.
being accused. I mean, that's
That's
what
it.
their crime is.
And a fine of $250,000 and restitution for the
But
victims.
they
Now,
said it. They said that it could be up to $3 million that they have to
it
pay
could,
back. And,
it could.
yeah.
But you almost wonder. I mean, outside of that, Alex, you got to pay for all this equipment, right? You got to pay for the technology, you got to pay for the algorithms, the building, the ingenuity. I mean, there's so much that took place. And now, honestly, this is an opportunity for someone to jump in and to say, hey, I wonder if I can pull this off, right? And do it in a legit way where, they're not committing a crime.
Well, I mean, it depends because obviously they're still being investigated. There's still a lot of stuff because they could have legit like spent that money in actual machines and real testing. Maybe they probably did a couple fraud tests, but doesn't mean
Yeah.
that technology doesn't like they can pull back from this. Maybe I don't
Right,
know, but
right,
it just
right.
all depends on the findings and the investigations at how deep they go. Where they're like, well, there was a couple things in there, but not enough for this, and they just a little slap on the wrist and there they go.
And that's the thing, man. I'm not trying to make this into I'm not trying to create a political issue here, Alex. But what an interesting slap in the wrist,
Yeah.
right? The deceiving, I guess I can just say the deceiving from every angle. Let's just be honest, man. The deceiving from every angle, especially digging into people's pockets. There were some heavy investors if the company is valued at $9
Dude,
billion, bro.
so look, I just actually that you say that. Let's some of the biggest investors were like corporate executive chairman, what is it, Rupert?
Hmm.
I'm really bad with names, but there's like
Yeah, we can
US
tell. It's okay.
yeah, it's okay. Um
It's okay.
yeah,
It's okay.
US, as US Secretary of Education.
Yeah.
There's like
Yeah.
the Walton family, which by the way, if you guys
That's
don't know, is the
Walmart.
heirs of Walmart empire. There's like US Secretary of State George and Henry Kissinger, US
Kissinger. Yeah.
Secretary of Defense. I mean, there's former Wells Fargo CEO. I mean, these are heavy hitter investors.
Heavy hitter investors, Alex. Heavy hitter. And here's the other part, man, is that means that if they were in it that deep, right?
Mhm.
Imagine those that aren't even mentioned, right? Imagine those that said, hey, I want to invest in this startup. This sounds like the perfect product, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's something that someone's passionate about, because you're not going to invest in something that you're not passionate about. Obviously, these individuals that are investing in this have some kind of, right, some kind of
Well, I mean, think
dog, yeah,
about it.
right, some kind of pony in the game,
If they're promising that you're gonna go from traditional testing where you don't have to collect 3 tubes every time you go to the doctor to a fingerprint and be accurate and do all the more tests than the
right,
normal
right.
stuff, like it sounds like too good to be true, and it looks like it was too good to be true, but who knows, right?
I mean, it's still under investigation. Let's not, let's not jump to all the
No,
conclusions, but the
correct.
data is there, the information is there, and I really feel for these individuals. I think I feel more, if anything, man, for the investors, dude. There's so many. I think this is why I wanted to talk about this, Alex, is because throughout history, throughout time, let's just go 10, 15 years, right? Let's just go 10 years, right? There's so many individuals out there that will take their life, right? Their life's earnings, their retirement, everything they've got for the sake of believing in a product because someone has spun it so incredibly well that now they're out, right? Now they're
Mhm.
out X amount of dollars, and what happens next? And listen, that could be anything. I mean, that's why I go back to, bro, just go back 10 years. You hear this story after story after story, man. And I think
But
these individuals,
here's the
yeah,
crazy thing part though, is think about it when people were investing in the internet and how crazy it was to a lot of people because you don't understand something. And the
right,
people were like, you know what, I'm gonna jump on this crazy idea. And then, they came up top because it looks like the internet became such a big deal. I mean, it's part of our everyday life that
right, right.
is valuable, if not more than having water and light. They go hand in hand. It's in today's
Right, right.
world.
It's a
Uh,
need. It's a
it's a
utility.
need. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, man.
correct.
Yeah, absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
but so
So,
you got to be careful with that kind of stuff. Obviously, you want to be jumping into the right opportunities, but man, you got to understand that there's always risk when it comes to this stuff.
right, right. So there's multiple lessons here, and I think the biggest one that I can walk away is be careful when you hear there's a quick buck opportunity, right?
Yeah,
It is what it is. It is what it is. But speaking of quick bucks
yeah,
and speaking of throwing money down the
wasting your
drain,
money.
listen, I sent you something, and I think you listen. I think it's a great opportunity. We may, and here's the interesting part. I know we're gonna differ on this, right? I know when
Mhm.
I talk about this specific issue and these specific 25, I think it is, pieces of money wasters, you may say to me, "Nah, Carlos, you're wrong. I don't agree with that." And I may say to you, "No, Alex, I think it is a money waster."
Well, I already know some of yours, and you probably know some of mine.
I know,
It's
right?
just,
So listen,
it's,
I'll jump with you. Let's go with you. All right, you tell
uh,
me. So let's set this up for everyone who's listening. So what we decided to talk about as well today is looking at 25. Just sticking to 25. We're not going to mention all 25, right, Alex? We're just going to look at
yeah.
the ones that jump out to us the most. 25 unnecessary wastes of money that you really don't think about. Like maybe you do and you just brush it off, or maybe you don't, right? This could be one of those, hey, I'm going to go spend a $5 coffee every day. Well, if it's that bad, then you probably
Well,
shouldn't, right?
let's kind
But
of
if it is, do it, right?
let's kind of go fast, but we can
Go ahead.
start.
I'll let you
Obviously,
jump on it. You jump on it. You go
obviously,
first.
there's number one that they have on the list is buying brand name products. Now, there's it's yes and no. It just really depends on your own personal situation of where you are financially.
Right.
But if you're in an okay spot, dude, I love brand name products. I mean,
Because
everybody
of the
that knows me,
quality or because of the history behind it?
quality. Just I like certain things. I like certain
Or
brands.
if it's luxurious, or is it just because of the
No,
luxury?
it could be luxurious. It could be kind of
Right.
scenario. And as I get older, I start looking into I guess not the finer things in life, right? But you start looking into like things that kind of go with your profession.
Right.
You gotta be dressing nice because you're in sales and stuff like that, right?
Right.
So
Right.
it comes with different territories, I would say. So, but obviously, brand name, I don't know. That one is kind of iffy.
Just
What
to, I
about
guess
you?
the contingency there is uh buy brand names dependent on what the item or product is, right?
So
Like
here,
I'm
how
not
about this?
okay. Here's an example.
Hold on,
Here's
hold
an
on, hold on.
example.
Hold on. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
All right, milk.
Yeah.
Let's go with milk. Basic as basic can get. Do I want to go spend $2.99 for a 2-liter gallon of great value milk at the good old Walmart? Or do I want to go spend a
$5 on a liter.
$3.99 on a liter of silk milk? Right?
Spent. Yeah. See, the thing is, what do you want to put in your body? But that's a different
Exactly.
thing.
So that's what I'm saying. So it just depends and varies on the specific product. I would say that would be something that we can
So
agree to disagree
let's do
on.
this.
Would you say?
Let's do the. Yeah, let's do this. Let's look at it. If you're really trying to be cheap and save money,
Right.
what's some things? Obviously, we already said brand names. Just go with the generic stuff.
Yeah.
Number two is learn how to do a couple, simple car repairs. There's a couple things that you can pay. Like, you're not gonna pay somebody to place a filter. You can just go
No,
online
of course not. Of course not.
and search it, right? I mean, obviously you can get someone that can help you, but like changing your wipers, why pay for somebody to do that? I mean, simple things.
Right.
Obviously, if you're
Unless you
not
have a Mercedes where you have to go to the dealership and get it all taken care of there because you can't find
but
them
no,
anywhere.
you can buy them doing yourself too. Come on, man. But
Let's not go there.
here's an interesting one, Carlos, is grocery shopping when you're hungry
I
or when
agree.
you
Totally agree.
or check this out, or also when you have a lot of time. Because I've noticed that when I do have a lot of time, I start going through the aisles and start picking a lot of stuff that I don't need
You're
or
an
want.
eye-level shopper, bro. You're an
Yeah.
eye-level shopper, aren't you?
So no, that's only when I have time. But if I'm in a hurry and I have a list, I just go in straight to those and out. But that's one of the things to say. If you're hungry, and you said you experienced that.
I listen. I couldn't agree more, man. I have to eat. If anybody I'm with, regardless, right? If there is grocery shopping that's going to take place, got to eat first. Because what happens is you start to crave, right? And you're going to want. Full stomach, that doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
It really doesn't if you're honest with yourself. So I agree that you don't need to go grocery shopping when you're hungry. That's just me.
Yeah.
Buying snacks. What's the other one that you were saying?
No, it's basically when you have a lot of time. But number 4 is buying snacks at the gas station. I don't really do that. I don't think people should because you spend way too much money on snacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to jump on it, or you just want me to keep going?
I want you to talk about the ones that you like. You ain't got to go in order. I just want the ones that jumped out to you. Like paying for cable. Are you? Yeah, I think you're still paying for cable, aren't you?
Yeah, I still pay for cable because
okay.
it's kind of like goes in hand with some other things, and I liked the good rate back then. But do I find it necessary? Absolutely not.
Right.
Especially with all the services and everything. I think just internet, and then you just couple streaming services, and off you go.
Off you go. Okay.
Let me. Go ahead. Here's
what
one
about
that I
next
think.
One? What about that next one?
Using credit card and debit cards.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this really depends on person to person. If you're able to keep up with your expenses with your card and know what you're going in and out, I think it's not a problem. But if you're a person that doesn't know how to keep track, and using a credit card or a debit card could be a bad idea for you because you just go in and you just put it in and you're not even making no calculations or no Excel sheets or not keep. Yeah, you can get in trouble when you're like $0 negative, and it's like, what? So maybe for you need to take some cash out and first of all, here's another thing: you should not be using your debit card. Period. If you have a credit card, you should be using that because then all the liability goes to the credit card and not your bank and your wallet. But that's a different thing that we can go in detail.
Right. But here's the part that's connected to that, Alex. When you decide to pay for interest, right? I think that's a waster, right? Unless you gotta do it, right? Unless you gotta do it, there's no other choice. Don't pay them interest, right? Or the second one is, I'll just get a late fee. I'll just pay it tomorrow. I don't care. I'm just ready to go to sleep. That's $35, right? Depending who it is, it's $35.
Well, it kind of depends if you let it accumulate and you don't pay it off before your bill is due, right? But
the billing cycle. Yeah, man.
Like say if you're you went to groceries and you pay in today's market, say $150 to $200, Well, you can use your credit card to come home and then automatically do the payment, or go to or the next day or so. But you don't want to let it
Yeah.
go past like 4 or 5 days.
Are you a fan of number 11? Number 11 talks about that you don't keep your tires properly inflated. What do you think about that?
Well,
It does increase, but is it even noticeable? Let's just be
no,
honest, right?
it's not. And here's the thing: most of the new cars, they all tell you like when your tires are low, they
Right,
keep you.
right. They
So
won't shut up either, will they?
yeah, no. So I don't think so. Couponing, I mean, if you do it the right way, it's good. If you do it in where you're just buying stuff that you don't even
Didn't
use,
you at one point you jumped into the couponing thing?
no, not me. But my wife did a little
Yeah,
bit
that's what
of
I'm
stuff.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah,
your household.
yeah. I mean, she did, but she did a lot of stuff like with razors, with
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You get a bunch of
shampoo.
stuff.
Yeah, I mean, she only did it for a little bit because someone got her into it.
Yeah, I
When
know. It
somebody
becomes a
talks to you,
fad. Yeah, it becomes,
yeah,
oh my gosh, let
somebody
me tell you
talks to
how
you,
to get this free stuff. Right, right, right.
and dude, and
It's like
check
those
this
guys
out
at the
though.
mall. You want to go vacation for free? It's only $100 a month. No, it's
But
not.
it does here, but it does work. It does work, guys. I can
It
tell
does
you
work. It does
if
work.
you do couponing correctly, you can save a lot. I mean, buying like 40, 50 shavers for like $5, and then we're still using them. And then she bought them like over a year. Like, yeah, the supply is
Right,
now very low, but we've
right,
been
right.
using them for like almost years, and we just pay $5 for them. So obviously, if you do it the right way, and don't buy stuff that you don't use, that's
Yeah.
where people become a problem, because then you're buying stuff and it's sitting in the shelf forever.
Well, I think, listen, I think it's great if it's a hobby, but at the end of the day, Alex, for some people it may not be a hobby, man. For some people it may just be a way of life, and they know how to make that happen. I know a
No, that's
lot of
fine.
people, bro, that know how to do that and really, really
Do it
rack up
well.
on stuff. Yeah, they do
Yeah,
well at it. And it's
like
oh man,
laundry detergent,
oh
and
man, yeah, yeah, yeah. Then before you know it, you see them
Suavitel,
at the
and
flea market selling it, right?
yeah, I mean, hey, whatever, dude. I
Right,
mean, there's a
whatever takes care of business. So yeah, man, I think you're absolutely right. I think it's not a bad idea
so
on something like
here's a
that.
personal care, Carlos.
Yeah, man.
They're like, hey, don't be buying pricey stuff. But man, I'm kind of like, take care of yourself. If you gotta buy some certain stuff, like, you just gotta buy it.
You got to, and here's like, be careful. And I'll say this to the guys listening, right? I know ladies aren't doing this. I mean, ladies definitely won't do this. But guys, when you buy a shampoo that also you can wash your body with,
Hmm.
I don't think that's very healthy for your scalp. I don't think that's very healthy for your
I like
beard. I
that
don't
sea
think it's.
salt stuff and stuff that feels good in your
Listen,
body.
but I don't go
Yeah,
that extreme, bro. I don't go to that extreme like you do, right? I'm
nah. Well,
a
I mean,
I'm a land of
gotta feel
Olay,
clean.
right? I'm a that
That's
smelly,
okay.
right? That smelly good
That's
stuff. You
okay.
get into the
The
salts
lotion,
and the
the
olive
lotion stuff.
oil, right? You put
No,
all
but
that. You do the
here's a
charcoal
waste
stuff,
of
don't you? Don't
here's
you
a
wash with
waste
that
of
charcoal stuff?
no,
You do that
no,
charcoal soap?
charcoal, no charcoal soap. But check this out: energy drinks. That's a waste of money, to me. And here's one that you do: spend a lot on
Hey,
these fancy
don't.
coffees,
Hey,
these
hey.
Starbucks.
Why you put me out there, man?
These come on, everybody knows all these little fancy so many things, ingredients into this one coffee, and then
Oh,
or
it's
whatever drink you do.
fantastic, Alex.
Yeah, but you're
Fantastic.
paying
It's a
like
daily
nine
thing.
dollars. You're paying
I'm
like
not paying
$9.
$9. I'm paying $4.73 on a
Okay, well,
daily.
that you add that up every single day, it adds up. So
But
maybe
here's
you
the
can
thing,
cut it
it
there.
does add up. It does. Listen, and here's my philosophy. At one point in my life, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to spend that $4, right? I'm not going to spend that $4 on a daily basis. I'll get it when I need to treat myself, right? It became a treat at one point in my life.
Well, it's
Then
because you used to have holes in the bottom of your shoes. Remember that time?
listen, I used to be so cheap, guys. I used to be so stinking cheap. I used to be so cheap that I did not replace my shoes until there was
Yeah,
holes on the bottom of these shoes. I
yeah.
did
So
because I was
now you're
all
buying
about.
$5 coffees every day. It's like, come on.
Listen, that happens as you shift your lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
It does. It will happen to anybody and everybody. When your lifestyle takes a shift, then of course there's things in life that you're going to have to. Now, here's the other part. Here's it. I'm going to say this out loud, and Alex, I'm going to have to throw you under the bus, right? I really am. I'm so sorry, but here's the thing. I may buy a $4 or $5 cup of coffee, but I will not go and spend $130 on a piece of steak. I won't unless I need to. That's
Oh,
that's
wait,
the difference.
but we're no, listen, we got this date that we're planning to do as
Oh,
we're
that's different, right? Because that's an occasion, right? That's an
oh, okay,
occasion,
okay.
right? It's different, right? That's my point. Like if it's a business dinner, if it's a client meetup, like I'm willing to throw down whatever I need to throw down because at the end of the day, I'm either celebrating or closing a deal, right?
Mhm.
However, but I'm not going to jump in my car and say, you know what? I'm really craving some steak today for lunch. Oh, you know what? Let me run down to Ruth Chris, right? Let me go run down to Ruth Chris for lunch today because it's a Tuesday. Like, I'm not going to pull that off. But
It's a celebration Tuesday.
it's a celebratory Tuesday. No, I won't do that. But here's what I will do. If it's early in the morning, that it's part of my routine, right? It's part of my routine in the morning to go ahead and go get me some Starbucks and let's shoot for the day, right? Let's go. Like that is my guilty pleasure. But listen, $20 a week, right? Okay, $25 a week, right? Bro, that's $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year. I'm
I'll
not
tell you what
really
though, Carlos,
what?
this COVID stuff era, like me, kind of the majority of it working here from my home office,
Yeah,
and it's made me
makes
a
you not
little
want to go.
cheap.
It
No, it makes
has,
me a
I'm
little
sure.
cheap, like
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
now it's like,
I'll
oh,
just
when
make
I
it
go
at home.
do when I do gotta go to the office, it's like, oh, that strawberry, what is it, strawberry kiwi shake.
Acai. Uh-huh.
No, I'm
Uh-huh.
just talking about like just the regular smoothie. And it's like, do I really want to pay $5 or $6 now for that? And it's like, nah,
Uh,
I just hold off. Before I, no problem. But so like being at home has changed a little bit of that mentality. It's like, I don't know, it's not necessary.
but also, could it be, and this is just a question, Alex. Could it be because you're at home and you rather, I'm not going to go out?
No. It's just makes it like what it did. It just broke the habit of constantly spending money on. I'm not that I don't go, but like
Right,
we have lunch and stuff. But since you're not going often, it
right.
broke that cycle where you don't have to like constantly be getting fast food
Let me
or
ask you
whatever.
something. Now that you say that, working from home, because I know this is a new dynamic for you in certain ways, did your power bill go up?
No,
No, there
no,
wasn't a
not really,
shift.
because
There wasn't a shift
it.
in any kind of way.
Be, no, because the thing is like
Okay,
your
all right.
power bill and stuff like that, and your heating. I got thermostats that are already programmed, and honestly, I don't turn them on or change the dynamics
You
of
just
it.
keep the
Like
setting on that. Okay, that's fine. But what
it's
about your?
it's all. Yeah, it's all the same. So all I do is if I'm get a little chilly or something now that it's getting, I'll just put a hoodie on for now. I'm not gonna crank the heater.
Gotcha. I
It
just
feels
didn't know if you
fine.
saw a shift because then if there's a shift, you might as well have gone to Starbucks every day, bro.
No, because here's the thing, dude. It, obviously, you guys can't see because this is my main personal where I'm doing here, and then I got a monitor here, another monitor, computer, and another monitor over here
Yeah,
on
yeah,
this
yeah.
side.
That's how we do it.
So
Yeah.
these other side over here
Can't
is
wait to
my
get our
work.
office. Yeah.
Yeah. So it basically is
So
it's
share
right
this
here.
like this. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
So technically right there is what I'm doing. I'm sitting here pretty much what nine,
All
10
day.
hours.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Or like I get up, get something, I'll make me a sandwich or do something quick and then come back. And sometimes I'll just be here like just reading the emails while I'm finishing my food. So honestly, what the company they get more production out of me because being at home
Because you're
versus
in
going to the
the,
office
of
and wasting
course,
time
of
and
course,
then people talking to you. You get the drill.
of
So
course.
I'm here, so I don't think I waste a lot of more energy because I have the lights off anyways. And so it's just here that I just got this powered up.
So let me ask you this: as we're talking about, making decisions, whether it's a good decision to save money or whether it's a not so smart decision as to how to save money, have you noticed that when we're talking about making money, right now the stock market has gone just absolutely bananas, Alex?
It's all over the place, man. It's so crazy. Like
Like
some
the monkey is sitting in front of the bull in New York City
look,
right
like I
now.
don't understand because like I've looked at my portfolio and then like some days it does pretty bad because it looks like a
Yeah.
lot of it takes a lot of hit on different sectors.
Yeah,
But
because
then,
it's the
but then I'm getting,
diversification piece that I told
but
you to stop.
no, but here's the thing. But then I'm getting hit with a bunch of, I'm getting get hit with a bunch of dividends and stuff, and money's still
Uh-huh.
flowing in, and
Uh-huh.
then it bounces back up, and then you, what you thought you lost, you gain right back.
Right,
It's
right,
like
right,
it's so
right.
weird. Like,
There's
I
no
mean, but that's the
trend.
market.
There's
But
no
that's the
trend right
market.
now. It is the
Yeah.
market. But you're looking for a trend in a non-trend environment right now. Like our financial, I don't even, just the financial markets in general with inflation and all this mess. Bro, it is a mess right now. There
The
is
only
so
one,
much uncertainty in everything.
yeah. So the
It's
only thing
crazy.
that I would say is, and I try to take Warren Buffett's advice on this, where, hey, don't let it bother you. You
Right.
missed
Hold
out.
the
Move on
line.
to
Hold
the,
the line.
like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
move on to the next one. But I kind of wish that I would have set my stop loss for Tesla, because even though I made profit, like
Right.
very good, like almost $300 per share profit,
Yeah.
which was great for me,
Yeah.
right? But I'm thinking, man, if I would have kept it right now, it's at like $1,114 when it's closed. I mean, that's almost like $800 per share that I could have made if I would have just kept on it. But it's like
Just
Warren
write it.
Buffett said,
Write it.
just
It's not
you just
but Tesla's not a pump and dump,
no, it's
right?
not. But
It's not a
but
pump and dump, right? It's a hold it. I mean,
I
their
wish they
truck is
paid
coming out
dividends
soon,
because
bro.
yeah.
Well, I don't think they can afford dividends yet because that's not profitable as a company yet.
Well, that's what that's what I want to you want to strive for. But
Right, right. But see, here's the other part. I will say that Tesla, when you're looking at, listen, we're coming to a close, right? Dude, it is November in 3 days.
yeah.
It is November in 3 days. And my point to our next segment is, Alex, in your portfolio, just in general, can you pick, or even in your watch lists? I wanted to bring this up because there are about 5 stocks that I don't think I've talked much about that I just want to bring up. Right, I just want to bring them up, and there's some good opportunities in 2021 that if you own this stock, you did well. The first one I'm going to jump in, Alex, is say AT&T. Right,
Mm-hmm.
AT&T has had a little bit of a, like, they've gone up, they've gone down, they've gone up, they've gone down. Right now, they're sitting at excuse me, they're sitting at about $25, right? $25 a share. But honestly, 6 months ago, they're at 32. They were at $32. There is a, right. It is declining, right, currently. And you can see that trend if you look at a 6-month graph, right? But if you do a 5-year graph, you're going to notice that, AT&T is struggling, but there is an opportunity for a spike. Are
Mm-hmm.
you watching it right now?
No,
I could tell.
uh,
I could tell you're kind of looking at it.
no, I was looking at another one that I want to discuss, but because Ford announced
Oh
that
yeah,
they're bringing
Ford.
back their
Ford is
they're
killing
bringing
it.
back their they're bringing back their dividends, so it spiked
Market
their
share.
ticker, yeah, their market share, and that's just one to be keeping an eye on, because obviously all these companies are moving to energy independence versus electric,
Right.
and so it'd be interesting to watch what some of these companies do.
Well, I remember when Ford back in 2009 was hitting like $2 levels, bro. Like $2 levels, and here we are at $17 a share, right? You got to remember that some of these companies are just too big to fail, guys, right? So I would say, Alex, I think that's a good one to really keep an eye on. If you've held it in 2021, it was a good move. I'll be honest with you and say that, hey, I think a Ford was a good move across 2021. The next one I'm going to say is Netflix, dude. Netflix
Netflix,
out
yeah.
of nowhere, bro. Out of
Mm.
nowhere. Out of thinking nowhere. I mean, it's $690.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't even need to be, I'll say that, you don't need to be a broker. You don't need to be a licensed broker. You don't need to know the rules in FINA, right? To see and to watch this stock and to say, how are they performing? It is up, 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 Alex.
So yeah, trying to go back here. So
I mean, it's
I'm gonna go.
465% up
I'm gonna go
over the
to
past
the
five
max,
years.
dude. In 2002 or 2000 in March 2003, it was at a dollar and
$2.
40. Well,
Dollars.
no, the one I'm looking at is a dollar 45,
Crazy, man.
and then of course it starts in November. It starts going up all the way up to like basically, let's see. Oh, here, let's go all the way where it's still. So 2012, you could still
Right.
buy it underneath $10.
Right.
In 2012, it just starts spiking, spiking, spiking. It's in an uptrend ever since. So who knows how
Oh,
it could
absolutely.
it can go. It keep going like to 1,000
Oh
range.
yeah, especially now that they're putting out their own content and they're bringing in so much different content. They're bringing in content from all over the world, man. I mean, they're doing fantastic. But here's the thing, Alex. The reason I wanted to focus on 2021 is that if you look at a company like Netflix, you're going to notice over the past year they had a 45% increase. Right? That's over $200 per share, Alex. That took place across the year. Like if you are holding Netflix right now, congratulations. Like you did great. And I'm not surprised. I hope you're not surprised because Netflix is just a company that's they're hitting all their marks, man. The next one I'm going to jump into is this, Facebook recently jumped into this new Meta, right?
Yeah. So let's not go too in depth because I did want to just bring that up. Obviously it's a big deal. Facebook moving to this. They're changing their ticker. I think at December the 1st or
Yeah,
December
yeah,
to Meta or
right,
to whatever the new symbol is going to be. So I'm going to see my shares change automatically, and then they're going to charge
right.
me $35 for restructure fees.
Of course they are.
Um, but but it's interesting, and I want to go more in depth. That's why I don't really want to touch a lot into it because I think it's worth exploring a little bit more of his vision or what he's trying to do and where they think you know everything's going.
Yeah, yeah. Well, all right. I'll go to the next. How about we do this? Go to Adobe.
No, Adobe, yeah, I keep an eye
Adobe
on that one.
is absolutely if you're
Nvidia,
listening,
Adobe.
yeah, I mean you have got to be crazy. Now listen, I would have bought at the dip. I should have bought at the dip, which was what the beginning of this month. uh I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, over the past month, Alex, let's just go there. Over the past month, there was a 13% increase.
Yeah,
13% increase over the past month, which if you're looking at it, it's about $75 a share. The stock right now is valued at what, $650 per
yeah.
share?
I think Adobe, and Nvidia, and obviously probably the new Facebook. I know they're in hot water, but we'll see what this new direction that they're going.
Yeah,
The one
yeah.
you
We definitely need to break
Tesla
Meta
net.
down, I think, next week. Let's definitely bring
Yeah.
that up next week and see what that looks like, because I think a lot of people are confused what this is. It will continue to be Facebook, but it'll be under the umbrella of Meta, right? Because
Mhm.
they're going to start to offer a lot of, it sounds like to me, even like virtual
You remember?
reality, jumping
Yeah,
into,
and see, I want to
right,
go more in
right,
depth because you remember a couple of shows ago. I don't even remember when we talked about buying real estate virtually
right,
about
right.
this, and I want to. So I don't want to touch on it because I think we need
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
expand a
yeah,
little bit
yeah.
more. But it's something to look into.
It is something to look into, Alex. So, I didn't know if there was any other tickers that you've been watching. I've got some of these in my portfolio. I've got some of these on my watch list. And I want to bring these up because if anybody out there is thinking, hey, did anybody else see this with me? Did anybody else encounter the same thing I did? Hey, listen, you did a great job. And I certainly want to commend those that found the right tickers. Would you agree, Alex?
No, yeah, and there's so many things to keep looking out for, and we're gonna keep. We'll bring a couple of them back when we talk about the meta in their new meta universe.
Right, right. So anyway, man, as you all know, as everyone knows that listens to our show, we always like to close our show with just a positive motivational quote. And today's motivational quote, and we've talked about Winston Churchill a couple of times, man. He's just a fantastic writer. He says, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." Guys, it's always a pleasure. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share our channel. Guys, thank you so much for being so good to us. But we want to encourage you to share us. Let's spread the love. And once again, we appreciate you.
Yeah. See you guys. Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.